Merry meet everyone, Hawthorne Sagebrush here, and welcome back to Hawthorne Mystics. Today I am so excited, I could not wait to get home today so that I could do Arwen Lynch's, Tarot by Arwen's, new tarot tag. She did a tag video like earlier today that was already up, and the 10 questions were kind of like they weren't that interesting to me. I still want to do that tag because why the heck not? But I was too excited to not do this one first. So this is the hashtag Tarot Tag 15 by Arwen Lynch. So I'm doing that one now. So I'm surrounded by my decks. I don't have as many as Arwen does because today I found out she's got, what, like 575 to 600 decks? I thought I had too many decks. Apparently I don't. So let's get started with the tarot tag. Okay, there's a ribbon. There's like the hanging ribbon, and I've got these keyholes in my dress, like these little boob peekers, and the ribbon keeps coming out, but whatever. Okay, so the first question is, what is your current favorite deck? I'm just gonna slide this over. Now this is a tarot tag, but I'm going to include oracle decks because oracle decks, come on now. They're decks, they're a similar thing, it's all cartomancy, whatever. So my current favorite deck, I'm going to tell you my favorite tarot deck and my favorite oracle deck because I can't choose between the two because they are like my children. Oh, I'm missing a deck. Oh no. I'll have to go find that other one, but whatever. My favorite tarot deck is this one, the Green Witch Tarot. Hang on, I actually brought up, I don't have the book with me right now, so I brought up who it's by. This is the Green Witch Tarot by Anne Mora, the author, and then another author is Kitty Ostergaard Leonard. So that's the back of them. Beautiful, very homey. It's like a barn door with like a pentacle wreath. And then the art is stunning. Like, all right, let's open some up. So this is the Three of Chalices. How beautiful is that? Then we have, oh, the moon is a beautiful one. We have the moon. How gorgeous is that? Let's see. What's one of my favorites? I'll show you some of my favorites from this deck. Oh, and things are slightly changed in here. Like number 3 is the Earth Mother. Like that, the Earth Mother. So some of the titles are changed, but it's still a tarot deck. Like instead of the Magician, we have the Witch. Things like that. Let's see. Lord of Shadows is Death, and it's not a very dark card. It's just he's waiting for these people. There's like a young boy and an older man, presumably his grandfather, walking over there, and the Lord of Shadows is watching on. With a Luna Moth. Look how gorgeous that Luna Moth is. Yes, thank you. Like, 4 of Wands. Look at all those apples and pears in abundance there. Like, hello, yes, sharing, awesome. Just this deck, the art is stunning. And then instead of the tower, it's the Wild Hunt. You can see the Wild Hunt going, but the tower there is like under distress, and there's like a rooster going, bark! Ugh, I can't find my favorite card. Where is my favorite card? Come hither. Oh, I got 2 favorite cards. One of my favorite cards is 7 of Chalices. And my other favorite card is... Nope, that's the Star. Oh, but because Arwen loved the Star, that is the Star, Arwen. Have you seen this deck? Because look at that! It's beautiful! But my favorite is the She. How gorgeous is that? This is number 14. What comes right after death? I forget. I'm not great at remembering the order of cards, but the art is stunning. So many rich color, and the use of light and dark is amazing in this deck. So this is my favorite tarot deck. Actually, this deck might beat out my Oracle deck. Yeah, because my favorite Oracle deck is the Psychic Tarot by John Holland. It's a very common deck. It's just that I really liked the art in this one too. I'll show you a bit of the art, not as much as this one, because I'm now thinking I really like Green Witch Tarot better, but just some pretty good, pretty art. Some good art. I like art in cards. So, but yeah, that Green Witch Tarot, like, was breathtaking from the moment I saw it, and I was like, must have. Except I didn't see it at first. A friend of mine, my friend Jay, just took a picture of it, sent me a Facebook message saying, do you want this for Yule? And I was like, a fucking yes. A fucking yes. Or was it my birthday? It was either my birthday or Yule. Jay tends to get me pagan books or a deck of cards. And then Josie gets me cards as well. So that's answering question 1, 6 minutes in. Good job, me. This is going to be a long one. I'm sorry, Arwen and everyone else. What tarot card do you think stands for who you are now? That actually is my 2 favorite cards. 7 of Chalices has been my card since I was in high school. This card has just represented me for so long that just me. Hang on, there's like a ringing. Nope, just outside. It's noise on the street. So, yeah. 7 of Chalices, like, me, though. Love, just, I've always felt very connected to this card, which probably says a lot about me, to be honest. But also, right now, the She card really feels very me. Number 14. I'm going to find out what this equates to in, like, Rider-Waite Tarot. Rider-Waite Tarot 14. Oh, is this Temperance? Temperance! I actually didn't expect that. I didn't expect the She to be Temperance, but I really connect with this card. But, yeah, so Temperance, or the She in my case, and 7 of Chalices. But 7 of Chalices has been with me for years. Like, since, like, the 9th grade, the 7 of Chalices has been with me. So, question number 3. What tarot card do you think stands for who you want to be? Arwen, girl. You are making me think and have emotions. How dare you? I'm going to find the card to explain. There's also 2 cards for who I want to be. Alright, so the 2 cards that represent what I want to be, one of them a little more than the other, is the Queen of Chalices, or the Queen of Cups. I always connect with cups. Cups is just my thing. I can't see myself in the other suits. Like, I can see parts of myself or parts of my personality, but me as a whole feels so cups, feels so chalices. And Queen of Chalices, obviously I want to be like that top tier. I want to have mastered emotions and things like that, like being able to let them flow through freely, but controlled, if that makes sense. But just, every time I see a Queen of Cups card, I'm just like, me, what I want to be, though. I sometimes slip into this a little bit when I get my mother energy going. So, yeah. And then the other one is number 8, the crone, which I believe this one represents strength, but I see this more as wisdom. And there is a strength in wisdom. And I love knowledge. One of my ultimate dreams is to be like the village witch, quote unquote. Like people come to me for advice or for help or for divination, cleansing homes, etc. That sort of thing is what I want to do. And that represents a certain type of wisdom and trust that the village has on you, you know what I mean? I live in a city, don't know why I keep saying village, but you know what I mean, that sort of being. But Rider White 8 images. Yeah, Knot of Cups. No thank y'all. Not swords either, thanks. Rider White Major Arcana. One or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Strength. Yep, strength. But I really want the wisdom and strength that comes with that. So that's kind of what I want to be. Draw a tarot card and tell us how it answers the question, what does the universe want you to know right now? What does the universe want me to know right now? 9 of Chalices. We have a fortune teller with 9 chalices atop her hearth. 9 of Chalices. 9s represent completion in numerology. So it's a completed journey before mastery in emotions and love, etc. But I'm also getting vibes of, like, with the fortune teller that I see there. And I think it's just basically telling me that I can be that witch that people come to, especially for emotional support, but I do that all the time. Like, emotional support, I'm there for, like, so many people. But yeah. Oh, she's got a box of leaves, and to me, leaves like that often represent riches or money in some way. So just making a living and being able to thrive off of that sort of thing. Sorry, I didn't expect this to happen to me right now. I'm going to have to do an in-depth reading in a bit, but that's kind of the vibes I'm getting off of that right now. I'm actually literally, now that I've seen that, I'm going to call my best friend, Josie. Well, one of my best friends. I've got 4. Best friend, Josie, and I'm going to get her to do a reading for me because, yeah, I need that now. Arwen, why do you do this to me? Girl. Do you have any cards that you must love in order to work with a tarot deck? No, not at all, actually. All of my tarot decks currently, oh, is that true? All but one of my tarot decks currently were given to me as gifts or given to me in exchanges. So basically, I have not chosen any of my decks myself except for the Penny Dreadful Tarot. And this deck I cannot work with because I didn't buy it. Love the art. I love the show and it's amazing. But it's seriously, it's the only deck I have now that I did not buy myself, or that I did buy myself. And it just, I can't work with it. So I'm going to be giving this to my friend Josie at some point. I'm still seeing if I can make them work for me, but I don't think they're going to because they got too much sass and they just don't want to work for me. So no, not really in particular. I must love the art, to be honest. If I get given a deck and I don't like the art, I'm probably not going to work with it. but people who give me decks, there's a reason they've chosen it for me, and it's either because they feel the art is beautiful, or because they feel me in it. So there must be a reason. So all the decks I've been given, I've worked with. Why tarot? Number 6. Why tarot and not some other divination system? Just what happened, really. I can't palm read. That's a lot of memorization for me. My friend Cameron can palm read really freaking well, and she can read faces. She's just very good at picking up that stuff, and she can also read auras, but she's been able to do that since she was like little. And then my friend Carrie also reads auras. Anyway, tarot for me is just, it's tangible and it's visual. The visual part is very important to me. I need a visual mode of something. So like scrying, some people like scrying, but it's not actually a visual thing. It's focusing your vision on one thing so you can get messages to you. I do scry, and I can do it, and I also have my pendulum here somewhere. Keyword in that sentence, maybe somewhere. Yeah. My pendulum's somewhere in this room. Or no, it's in my bedroom. But essentially, with other divination methods is, without the visual and the complexity that tarot has, it's kind of like dream interpretation. You know what I mean? Like tasseomancy, reading tea leaves, is very much up to symbolism that you see. Like, is it really a square? Is it really a unicorn? I don't know. I do want to learn tasseomancy, and I really do want to do some other types of divination, but tarot itself is visual and so complex. I have never seen the same reading twice for the same person. Like, or even for different people. The exact same reading, I've never had that happen. Similar concepts and similar ideas and like some of the same cards, maybe, but never the same, and it's so complex that it's complex yet simple. Once you figure out the formula in your mind, like the basic formula. So for me, the thing that helped me the most, especially with reading tarot cards, was learning the numerology 1 through 9, the representatives of those numbers for the minor arcana the suits. Learning those really helped to understand the ideas, and then I go off of the suit. So chalices is emotions, athames is knowledge, wands is inspiration, and poetry, that sort of thing. Very wandsy to me. And then pentacles is earth, and that is kind of money matters, jobs, physical needs, eating, etc. It has to do with like your mundane world, what you need, getting back to basics, that kind of thing. So it represents those things. But again, people read in different ways, but it's like, if I'm approaching a new tarot deck that I have never worked with before, I'm going to go back to basics, to those numerology plus what does the suit mean, and then and then I can learn off of the imagery in each card what could also be underlying and being said. Like, as I said with the card in here, the crone, that represents strength technically, but to me it represents wisdom and strength through wisdom because of the age. So, yeah. That's why tarot. 7. What's the first book you can remember reading about tarot other than the Little White Book? I'm not sure what the Little White Book is. Is that like the book that's supposed to come with Rider White? My Rider White deck that I got for my 19th birthday from my friend Josie, it didn't come with a book. It didn't come with the Little White Book at all. So the first tarot book I ever read myself was The Only Tarot Book You'll Ever Need by Sky Alexander. I don't think it's the only tarot book you'll ever need, because guess what? I didn't learn that numerology idea from it. I learned that from some random tarot video that Josie found forever ago, and sent my way. And like, yeah, like that's what I know it from. But this was the first book I read about it, and one of the first books I finally read that didn't talk about death as death. And I'm like, thank the gods, thank of the heavens, like, get on in here, pull it up. And it was one of the first books that showed the court cards representing people and as not people. I've seen decks that show them as strictly situations. I've seen books that talk about them, not decks, books. I've seen books that represent them strictly as people. But this book had it as, if this represents a person, X, Y, Z. If this does not represent a person, X, Y, Z, the situation. So I was just like blown mind because other than the quote little white book that comes with your decks, that's pretty much the first book I remember reading, and it helped open me up to other ideas, and it is not, in fact, the only tarot book you'll ever need. I no longer have it because I am off book with all of my decks. I sometimes am a little on book with this one still, just because the imagery is very different in this one. It's very pagan. Like, a lot of the major arcana cards are changed in name and symbolism, so they're like a little bit different. So sometimes I need the book, but I'm trying to be off book with this one as well. I prefer intuitive reading anyway. But yeah, that's the first book, and I gave it away to somebody when I gave them a tarot deck, because I had 2 previous decks that I don't own now. 3, 4. I've had 4 decks that I've given away now that I bought myself. Every time I buy a tarot deck, it's never for me. It's so, ugh. I wish I could, like, 'cause seriously, if I could buy a tarot deck and it actually worked for me, miracles, praise on high. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Hey, what tarot person would you like to sit down with for a chat about tarot? Good question. Honestly, right now, it would seriously be Arwen, literally the person who made this tag. Awkward. But that's just because everybody talks about how amazing Arwen's readings are, and I haven't been able to afford one yet. I still want to get a reading, but I can't afford it. So, and I'm trying to save up for a video reading because I like that face-to-face connexione. So we shall see if I can eventually afford that, but like, trying to get out of debt, and I'm trying to move to another continent possibly, so we'll see. Yeah, so Arwen right now, pretty much. Anybody else is basically my friends, and I can just say, yo, let's talk about tarot, and they're like, okay. And that's fine. Number 9, tell me about one YouTube tarot channel that you watch and why. Besides Arwen, that's pretty much the only tarot exclusive channel, but Kellyanne Maddox does a fair few like tarot reviews and puts up tarot spreads as well. So I love Kellyanne's videos. She's amazing. Her personality is awesome and like so true. Like, you can tell if she's been having a bad day or been really having a good day because she doesn't fake it. I mean, everybody on YouTube kind of does. Like, this is not how I talk normally. Actually, it kind of is. But like, you always kind of put your personality, but like just a notch up. It's kind of how you talk on YouTube. And I do talk with my hands like this. Like, that's why the hands are going. And I'm actually like got this hand in a fist, forcing myself to only talk with one hand right now. But so it's not so distracting. I talk with my hands all the time. People make fun of me for it, but I love it. It's just, maybe I was Italian in a past life. I don't know. But wow, yeah. So Kellyanne Maddox is one that I watch and that I love, love, love. Not all of her videos are about tarot. Actually, the majority of them are not, if I am not mistaken. But hers are super long and awesome to put on while you're doing something else like cooking or whatever. All right. Number 10. How many tarot decks do you have? I have 7 decks. 3 of which are tarot decks, which is the Green Witch Tarot, Penny Dreadful Tarot, and then this is my Rider White deck. I've had this pouch since my first tarot deck, which I've now given away because it didn't work for me. But yeah, this is just my Rider White. Boop, boop. And those are my tarot decks. And then my Oracle decks, I have the crystal deck, which is literally just 50 different crystals and their use in healing. But I can use them as tarot cards or oracle cards. I have the Psychic Tarot by John Holland, as I mentioned. I have the Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. And then I have the Soul's Journey Oracle deck lesson cards. Like they're the Oracle lesson cards. And I forget who they're by. I'm sorry. And this video is getting long, so I'm going to not look them up right now. But yeah, that's the one I've been using for a couple of my lessons from the tarot videos. So go check those out if you like on Tuesdays. And number 11, do you mix oracles and tarot when you read? No, I don't mix decks, and that's not because of anything else. It's just I want the energies to put together. So what me and my friend Josie have done, if I mention her a lot, it's because we do a lot of tarot together. We do exchanges, like she'll read for me, I read for her. We do one at the beginning of every year. And that's when we do 2 cards. We do 24 cards, technically. 1 tarot card per month and 1 oracle card per month. But that's not mixing in the same reading. It's we do a year reading for tarot and a year reading for oracle. And that's how we go about that sort of thing. So it's not really mixing the decks. It's just using them both for different reasons. But in the same method. Maybe a little complicated. But I prefer, especially for shuffling, I like everything to be the same size. But also because it looks like a continual story. It tells a story through the imagery and the art. And if suddenly there's a card from a different deck and the art is very different, that would distract me too much from being able to read well. Number 12, have you ever created your own tarot card or deck? I have created my own tarot cards before, just like 1 or 2 single cards. And those were mainly for art assignments in high school, actually. It was just like, take a tarot card and redesign it. And that's what we did. Yeah, it's just pretty much an art assignment that I've done them. And I haven't done them since, but I think it'd be really fun to do that. And I would love to design an entire deck, but oh my gosh, it's a lot. My friend Carrie designed like the major arcana cards for, what book was it? Inspired by Moby Dick, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, yeah. Number 13, do you read for yourself? Yes, I do. Prefer not to. I prefer to get Josie, Jay, or Cameron to read for me. Those are my three of my 4 best friends, and they all read. And I'm just like, if I need a reading, I'm just like, Josie, girl, when can we do this? Which is funny, because she's the one that lives furthest away from me from the people who can read. But I'm just like, girl, we need to do this. And I always offer a reading in exchange. But I prefer not reading for myself because then I don't have my bias. I don't have my reader's bias. 14. What are your favorite questions to be asked when you do a reading for someone else? That is interesting. My favorite questions to be asked. I hate being asked about love. Like, girl, get over it. Unless it's about how you can do better. Like, you know, like, unless it's like in the sense of, what can I do to improve myself? What can I do to better communicate in love? What am I doing that's a problem? What am I doing too much of? That kind of thing I'm okay with, but I hate involving other people. I don't read for two people when I do readings. When I do a reading, it's for you. It's you, what you can do. It's suggestions in that sense. So that's what I hate reading, but my favorite questions to be asked. That's a really good one because a lot of times I get them to keep their questions to themselves. My favorite way to read is to say, which spread would you like? I give them an option of spreads. If it's an exchange, they can pick whichever spread they want. If it is a paid reading, I tell them how much each spread costs. And then I prefer them to shuffle while thinking of their question so that I'm not biased by their question. Because sometimes the cards decide, I don't want to answer that. There's a more pressing situation here. Like, they might be saying, oh, what am I doing wrong in the relationship? And they're in a super abusive relationship. The cards aren't going to say, oh, you should do this, you should do this. No, the cards are going to say, get the fuck out of there, because my cards have a sass to them. Some people might not like that, but my cards are gently a little sassy. But yeah, favorite questions is I prefer not to know. I prefer to read without the question and then to find out what they were thinking about after, and we can see how that applies or how that works out, or if it was seriously like, this is what you need to know right now. Number 15, the last question. What's the craziest thing that's happened to you during a reading? Oh my goodness, me and my friend Josie, again, I said her name about 6 billion times. We used to, when we were both in university still, get together for tarot nights and just literally we would make dinner, we'd have some dinner and maybe watch a little bit of the Golden Girls, The Facts of Life, and then afterwards get down to the dirty tarot. We would sit on the floor and we would do massive readings. We'd try new spreads, like those giant spreads with like 70 billion cards, like big ass spreads. And we were doing literally just a Celtic cross spread with the Psychic Tarot. She has a deck of it as well. And we were reading for me, actually. So this is her reading for me, but this is the craziest thing that's happened during a tarot reading. We got some cards that connected together so much. It was so insane that how they connected together. And it was like, we had this like hour and a half or 2 hour long tangent about how these cards tell a story and how they connect together and how this is this part, this is like a magnified version of this part of the card, and then this card goes to here and that's what that represents, and then it's like, it was like this crazy long tangent about just 3 cards and how they connected together and how we had never noticed that before, but it just was serendipitous that those 3 cards ended up in a row, and it was just like, oh my God, girl, like, it was insane. It was amazing and insane, and it was just the craziest thing that's ever happened to me during a tarot reading, which doesn't seem that crazy, but oh my goodness. Like when it's in that moment, you realize something that you've never realized before, and then you have someone there who knows just as much about tarot as you do, and you just go off being like, oh my gosh, and that represents this, but in this deck, it's kind of like this, but then with this card, it goes there, and oh my God, it was insane. But that is the end of the hashtag TarotTag15. Thank you so much, Arwen, for making this tag. I'm so excited I got to go home and answer this. I'm sorry this video is like literally going to be like 35 minutes long. I'm sorry. But this was too fun. Had to do it. And I loved it. I've never been asked some of these questions before. Amazing. But thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about any of the answers to the questions or any questions you may have for me further. Seriously, go to Arwen's video and watch it, first of all. Second of all, make one yourself. because I want to see. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Merry part, blessed be. Bye-bye.